Hi there, I'm Adrienne Flynn with Thousandfold Lotus. Today I'm taking you through a 17-minute Pilates chair workout. The Pilates chair is one of the Pilates apparatuses that you will often see in a Pilates studio, but they are great for an at-home piece of equipment. So if you haven't quite ventured into a Pilates studio yet, and you've been doing some home workouts on the mat and with some props, and you want to take it to the next level, you can go ahead and grab a chair. They have them all over websites all the time, Craigslist and such, for sale. For example, the one that I'm using in this video, I got for $20 off Craigslist, and it provides me a great home workout with resistance springs. And then later you can work into your larger apparatuses into a studio. So grab your chair, put a mat on the floor, give yourself a little bit of space around the chair, and let's get started with this workout. Begin seated on the chair with the hands on the side of the rib cage. Grow tall. Inhale to expand the ribs laterally. Exhale through pursed lips. Feel the core engage. Inhale to feel the ribs expand laterally. Exhale through pursed lips. Place the thumbs on the lowest ribs, middle finger on the hip bones. As you exhale, pull the ribs close to the hips. Inhale. Exhale, slide those ribs down to the hips. So I'm shortening the space between my thumbs and my middle finger to feel the obliques shortening here on my exhale. Inhale, draw shoulders up, exhale down. Here we're just warming up shoulders with scapular elevation depression. Inhale up, exhale down. Arms out in front, there's the puppy. Retract and protract the scapulas. Inhale, retract, exhale, protract. Inhale to retract, exhale to protract. Inhale, retract, exhale, protract. Then we're going to do a little lateral flexion. So left hand down, right arm all the way up and over. Switching sides, left arm reaches. Remember, we're growing tall and going up and over when we do that stretch. Now I'm going to find the pedal. This one's a split pedal. Some chairs are split, some are one pedal. Pubic bone to the front edge of the seat. I'm going to exhale, press, inhale, raise back up. Exhale, press, inhale to raise. My heels are together and toes apart here. See how my glutes are almost lifting as I push down? I'm thinking about drawing my sit bones together and lifting up with the glutes as I press down. Now, my hands are on my hips to ensure pelvic stability there. Now, your feet are about hip width apart. Toes are wrapped around the pedal. I'm exhaling to press, inhale to raise. I'm pushing down against the springs and resisting the return, so putting the brakes on here. My arm position is genie arms. If that's too much on your shoulders, go back down to the arms down by your side. Moving into heels on the bar. Placing the heels on the edges, growing tall. Inhale, raise up, exhale down. Inhale to raise, exhale to press. Puppy's gonna walk around a lot during this video, but I'm sure you guys have just as much craziness when you're working out at home. Exhale to press, inhale, return. Exhale to press, inhale, return. Pressing down, returning with the brakes. Pushing, engaging glutes, and I'm zipping through the core all the time. My back is really straight there. Last foot position is ball of the feet on the bar and the heels up high. I'm going to exhale to press. This one's a little more challenging. The spring load on this chair is kind of challenging here. So I have my arms back down by the side and I'm almost pressing my fingertips into the edges of the chair. That's also a great arm position option here when you're doing your chair work. The quads are usually burning right now, and you can see I kept those heels in a 2-inch lift. This is a lateral rotation. So heels to the edges of the bar and turned all the way out. Exhale to press, inhale, return. Exhale, press. So this is recruiting a little bit more adductor work, your inner thighs, and my hips are rotated outwards. Great hip mobility exercise here. Everything we do, our hips are straight forward, so we want to get some rotations in. This is a medial rotation. It feels kind of awkward. Knees are touching, toes face each other. Inhale, exhale, press. Inhale, exhale to push. Inhale, exhale, press. I'm zipping through the car every time I press down. Inhale, exhale, press. Inhale, exhale. So this starts to work into the outside of the hips, opposite of that lateral rotation. So here I'm going to do an ankle exercise. I've put my right ball of the foot on the pedal, and there's a notch right under your patella that you've got against the chair there. If you see my back, it's flat, shoulders are down. I'm still engaging core. Exhale, press the pedal down, inhale, return. Great for the soleus and gastrocnemius, lots of ankle mobility. Really important to have that ankle mobility in all of our functional fitness training. We want to be able to get low in our squats. Inhale, exhale, press. When I return my foot right there in that dorsiflexion right there, I am going slow and getting that nice eccentric muscle contraction here. Now returning the pedal, I'm going to sit on top of the seat and get ready for a little Mermaid series here. This is good for obliques and lateral spinal flexion. Legs are straight. I exhale to press. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, return. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, push on that pedal. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, return. Inhale, exhale, push. You'll feel obliques there. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, return. My quadriceps are working isometrically with the straight legs. Spine gets tall. And then I'm going to do a different variation for a little more mobility. So I've scooted way forward, right foot on the floor, left foot reaching wide. Now I'm in a straight line there, and then I push over and come right back to that straight line. So here I'm getting a deeper resistance in my right oblique set, external and internal obliques there. And my left side of the body is stretching right there. Inhale, exhale. I get a lot of length. So when you're doing this at home, you want a lot of energy in that outside of the left foot. Lots of stretching there. All right, then we're going to do it on the other side. Walking around. So here I have bent legs because I'm a little bit more squished against the wall. But what I want you to know is that you can always bend the knees. You don't have to keep them straight all the time. So this bent knee variation is a little bit more of a modified version. So when you're redoing this video and practicing at home, you can take this variation if your legs are just dying out there. Inhale, exhale to push, inhale, grow tall, exhale, return. Yep. Now our mobilization, a little more stretch here. I find that straight line, my glutes are way off to the front edge of the chair. Exhale, push. If you're on the split pedal, I like the hand on the front pedal for this one and the back pedal for the previous variation. But whatever feels most comfortable in your body when you go to do this exercise. Inhale, exhale, push, feel that oblique fire. Inhale, return. Very good. All right, so we're turning around, laying on top of the seat. I am happy, I just don't naturally smile a lot. I watch these videos and I think I look so grumpy. So I'm in a straight line here, laying on my tummy. I'm retracting and protracting the scapulas. So I'm using the pedal with springs for resistance here. Retract and protract. My legs are active. Notice they are almost up there in line with my glutes. So my glutes and hamstrings are working to keep that lift. I'm also keeping a strong core here. Bend, exhale, press. So now we're doing more like a floating push-up. My whole backside is working to be lifted there, and I'm resisting the pedal, pushing the pedal away. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. When you're setting this up on the chair at home, the hip bones, the ASIs, the two front hip bones, are almost to the front edge of the chair. Now, I'm doing a reciprocal motion in my push-up here because I have the split pedal. If you don't have a split pedal, you may not be able to do this one. You can kind of do a one-arm push-up. And now I'm rotating with the split pedal. So much easier when we have a split pedal variation. I'm actually getting some extension and rotation here. See how the pedal comes up with me, the side that I'm turning. This is great for the erector spinae. So I'm getting extension and rotation. When those vertebrae turn on top of each other in our spine, they allow us to get even stronger in our extension when we rotate at the same time like that. Super great if you have kind of that rounded back posture, kyphosis as we call it. So here I'm on my knees. I'm gonna press down and round up. See how I almost got stuck there? That's right where you wanna be. I'm on the edge of face planting on the floor, but I'm holding on here so the abs really start to fire, the hamstrings fire. You can see how my feet lift a little bit at the end. That indicates that my hamstrings are hanging on for dear life here. So I'm using my core to pull up. Now, the key to that was we wanted our hips way over our knees the whole time. Your body will scoot yourself back, but the further out you go, as if you're about to fall on your face, the better the exercise. So here I'm side lying, working into obliques, hand on the pedal, exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Now it's my top set of obliques working here, my left obliques. That is because the resistance isn't very strong here, so I have to work up to lift there. It's helping a little bit, but it's mostly that left oblique helping me to reach. Now I'm gonna go split leg. So my bottom leg goes forward, top leg goes back. So adductor of that bottom leg is working and abductor of the top leg. So outer thigh, inner thigh is working here, and that oblique is still firing like crazy. Exhale, inhale, come down to a straight line. Exhale, good. So we're switching sides here. Start with our basic lateral flexion. My legs are straight, my arm is reaching, find that straight line. See how I just lifted in my underside oblique? My hand just went there. We don't want to be dropping in that oblique, so that's active the whole time. Front and back, always working. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale, reach for those toes. Inhale, lower. Exhale, reach. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Now I've split the legs, bottom leg forward, top leg back. Good, reaching through. Really nice movement here, full body, as most things with Pilates, a lot going on. Exhale, reach, inhale. Now I'm gonna gently return my pedal, feet to the floor, and transition around here. So I'm making it a little bit heavier. These springs are super taut on this chair that I have at home, but I made it heavier for my elephant variation. That way it's supporting my body weight and helping me a little bit. So my hands are around the edge of the chair. I drop my heels, lift up. So it's my core lifting me up. The puppy's like, what in the world are you doing? Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Drop those heels, lift, use the core. Good, inhale as you're lowering and exhale on the way up. Inhale to lower, exhale, lift. So I'm getting a little calf raise in there too. My abs are working like crazy while I'm up there. Now, if you have the split pedal, you can add this variation. We're just climbing stairs here, but look at my hips. I'm trying not to wiggle. So if I had a tail, I'm not wagging my tail side to side. I'm keeping it stable. Now we're moving into the side elephant variation. I basically just turn to face the side of the room, hands around the edge of the chair. The pup wants to work out too. Hello. And what happened is the feet just like automatically go in the right spot when you turn. That front foot just ends up right where it's supposed to be. I'm using my obliques. My left obliques are firing a ton when I'm lifting here. So we'll do the other side. One side is always harder than the other, so don't get discouraged if the first time you try this, you're just like, this is so crazy. Flat spine if you can. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. You almost have to lean into the chair just a little bit to help your core get that lift, but you'll feel a ton of right oblique on this side lifting up. The split pedal is a little more challenging with the side elephant. So if you have a full pedal, it's a little more beginner friendly. Now we'll return one pedal and then the other. Great, great oblique stuff there. So I'm going to make it a little bit lighter again so that I can set up for the next exercise. Again, your chair at home probably has lots of different ways to loosen and tighten the springs. Make sure you know how to work your chair before you get on it and start exercising. This is a hamstring variation. I'm laying on the floor and I just have kind of my Achilles tendon part of the heel on there. I'm just going to exhale. I draw towards me and downward, and making sure that core is stable. So no rocking in the pelvis. When we press down right there, sometimes the pelvis wants to tuck under and smush the low back to the floor. We're not going to do that. With the split pedal, I can do reciprocal. If puppy wants to give kisses, so she found a toy in the backyard. I promise it's not a dead animal. It's just a piece of toy that she'll have in her mouth for a few scenes here. Now this one's hard. I'm going to roll up one vertebra at a time. Curl the pedal in. 3, 2, 1. Return the pedal and then roll down one vertebra at a time. Inhale. The arches of the feet are on the bar. Exhale, roll up. Inhale. Exhale, pull. Exhale, pull. Inhale, return. Exhale, roll down one vertebra at a time. Inhale. Exhale to roll. inhale, stay, exhale, curl, inhale, return, exhale, curl, inhale, return, exhale, roll down. The pup is loving that toy. I'm gonna stretch out, roll up one vertebra at a time, catch the pedal with my hands. This is gonna be a rollback with a little more resistance. So rollbacks you see in mat class all the time. Here, you kind of have to find that perfect spot. I'm gonna roll down and return. So I'm as if I'm about to roll all the way down on my back one vertebra at a time. I'm gonna press the pedal down and back up. You really have to wiggle around a little bit and find the right resistance. You wanna be able to roll down quite a bit and press down on the pedal. And if you see, my fingers are straight, my hands are straight, because I want you to think pushing down on the pedal and not pulling. Here I'm rotating, so I felt like I couldn't roll back enough, so I'm getting even closer. Turn, inhale, center, exhale, exhale, inhale. So on that one, you always want to exhale as you're going through. If you don't have the split pedal, this is the best way to do it. So you'd have a merged pedal and you'd sweep open to one side, inhale, return, exhale to swing, inhale, return. So this is an option for split pedal or full pedal, but if you don't have that split pedal, the other way is like not really going to work out for you. So that rotation way is the best one to do. All right, so I'm standing here. I'm going to start to stretch out because we have just wrapped up our full body 17-minute workout. Got a little of everything in. My right foot's up there. I'm leaning those hips in and lifting the heart. Now I'm going to grab my foot, hamstring stretch with a little rotation. This is almost like triangle pose in yoga. So really good IT band, spiral fascial line stretching on that one. Left foot up, I'm leaning in, lifting my heart, stretching out. Meanwhile, the dog has her toy on the floor. She's like, what are you doing? And then come on back, straighten, we'll rotate to the left side. I'm really trying to pull that foot back. You're gonna feel this like crazy on the outside of that left leg. So that hamstring stretching, then I'm rotating. I get a big stretch there. Now I'm just gonna reach up, close with a little forward fold, get a little back line stretch, roll up one vertebra at a time, roll those shoulders back. Inhale, exhale to fold. Inhale, rolling up, roll those shoulders back. And we are all done. Thanks so much for joining me. And we'll even let the puppy give her little hello as well. Say hi to the camera.